Today is an exciting one. I've been working on this for 3 weeks and my mission control is starting to run my entire business. Today, I'm going to show you every page, every tool, every job my mission control does, so you can get inspired and implement this into your own daily routine and business. Let's go. Before I dive in deeper into my mission control, I have to give you an overview of who is actually doing the work and who are my 7 AI agents that are running. So I'm the founder and CEO. On top, I talked to Henry, my chief of staff, who you already know if you have been following along the series. I mainly talk to him all the time through Telegram, also sometimes through Discord. But he is managing the entire team. He has stand-ups, he has meetings, he is configuring all the files and updating the files if necessary, which are the objective MD files, the soul MD files, the heartbeat MD files, and all of that. So kind of what makes the essence of all the agents. And yes, he distributes tasks, he keeps the overview, he makes sure everybody is aligned. Then I have Nexus, my CTO. He's doing anything coding related. He is running mainly on Sonnet 4.6, although sometimes also on Opus 4.6 if he needs to do the planning work. He is, coding out the mission control step by step. He is coding on my real coding project on GitHub in forms of PRs. My last episode, I showed you how I set this up. His role and his team is a quite important one because it's, of course, everything that's coding related. And I'm building on top of that one at the moment, where we're actually starting to code actual products, and I see how that goes. Now, Ivy, my research department, very important department because it feeds into all of the other departments. Ivy is scraping YouTube, is scraping X, is scraping Reddit, and it collects data and information, feeds it to the content department for tweets, LinkedIn posts, and YouTube videos. It also researches for Nexus, for product implementations, API implementations, all kind of docs that's necessary. So the research agent, several cron jobs, scraping the internet 24/7 for relevant data. Then I have Knox, my security officer. Knox is very important because he's tracking the health of my AI agents. He's tracking any misusage of API keys. He's tracking whether any files are accessed that are not supposed to be accessed unless a certain job or a cron job is running. He's monitoring scope creep if any agent starts doing tasks that are outside of his prescribed task. All of those kind of important jobs that just make me feel safer that my setup is running securely and smoothly. Now, of course, Mr. X, he is all about social media. He's drafting my X posts, he's drafting my LinkedIn posts, he's drafting YouTube ideas and scripts, helping me with strategy across all of my social media platforms. He's also helping me to monitor my YouTube performance and all of that. Now, 2 agents that I just added recently, and I'm just building them out as we go. I have a finance department. I want to be up to date on crypto, on ETFs, on investment opportunities. Just have an active agent looking at the market and opportunities constantly and advise me on my financial strategy. How much information I'm going to give him about my personal finances, I'm not yet entirely sure at this point. Probably more on the conservative side as of now, but we will see how the relationship develops and how secure I feel the setup is. The last of my agent is Ragnar. He is the first agent I created for one of my portfolio businesses, which is Valhalla Music. With Valhalla Music, we do electronic music events in Barcelona and Ibiza, and this agent will help me to reach out to venues, to grow the business, all sorts of things that we can automate. So that's my current setup. And you get an overview of my agents and what they're doing. I do have an office where I visualize my agents who are doing which work. Sometimes they have stand-up meetings and they discuss. Here I can get the meeting notes. That's just a little bit of a virtual representation, so it comes a little bit alive. Now, the operational backbone of my operation is the dashboard together with my task, project, and calendar. As you can see, I currently running very hard on the cost side. This month, I'm cranking up the API costs. It's just an experiment. If I go full throttle, maximum usage with high-end models, how much money I would spend in a month. I can see this is already going in direction of $3,000 to $4,000 for this month. Is something I will need to optimize, and I need to bring it down for sure. However, also if you put it into perspective, you have 7 workers or 7 agents running 24/7. If you would hire real people, that would be an entirely different bill. So it obviously depends on how much you can spend and invest in that. You can evaluate subscription models. You can evaluate other cheaper models as well. That's something I will be doing. I will evaluate also OpenAI models and maybe local models to see how the cost can be managed better. But I want to learn and get a feeling of how much money you spend, also for potential clients and other people who I might be setting this up for. Anyways, so here I get a little bit of an overview, what's happening, what's next, and it just gives me a little bit of a quick insight of where we stand. If I go to the task board, this is my daily stand-up, my daily review in the morning, where I discuss with Henry, what are we going to do this week? What is in the backlog? What do we need to review? So I just have a standard task board here and some live activity tracker here just to see what is happening live. That would be my task board. One level higher would be my projects. So here I am listing bigger projects we're working on to get a little bit of an overview. What is the mission control? Which is my social media pipeline? Which is the agent structure? Projects that we are working on a little bit more long-term and to keep track how we're doing here. That's pretty cool. So task board, daily stand-up, project, long-term vision. Let's look at the calendar. This is a calendar that shows me all the activities of my agents. So total jobs, 59, today, 47. The next jobs that are up and scheduled with my agents, deep research session, an inbox processor, content creation, and so on. And I would see when this is happening, connected to the heartbeats. And here, if I scroll down, I see the entire task list that's happening every day with my agents. As you can see, by now, there are quite a lot, and we can scroll quite some time. This is also what kind of explains the cost. I'm literally letting them do a ton of program work sessions. As you can see, it's quite an extensive list that is piling up here. This is for me, if I look into that, just to get a feeling and a good idea of what my agents are doing. The next cool use case that I want to show you is this Docs tab. Here, I have access to all the documentations, all the JSON or mainly MD files that are created. I created a little bit of a filter by topic, and I have a filter by agent as well on top here. And I can search for documents that I might be needing to review. If I click on some outreach, direct messaging, brief, or strategy that we discussed, I can see that here. If I want to look at YouTube scripts, I can look at those here, for example, and find what has been done. All my files are saved in Obsidian. They receive tags and they're structured by topic. And I can also actually filter by the file type, right? PDF, I don't have any, but potentially that would be possible. So very cool, very quick way to find documentation, certain files that get created in the process with your OpenClaw. The next thing that what I want to show you is the memory section. Here, similar to the docs file, but all files that have been created for the memory for my agents, especially for Henry, everything we talk about gets collected in his memory file. And you can see every day he is adding to his memory. And if I want to just go back, have a look, what did we talk about? What were the most important things on Monday? What did he save? And I can just review his memory files and just see what was talked about, what changes did we implement, what was mentioned, and all of that. Very, very useful if you want to just go back in time and see what you and maybe Henry or your main agent were talking about, or maybe with any other agent as well. From here, I want to show you my content engine. It starts all with YouTube. Here in the YouTube studio, I get YouTube video ideas. That is based on the research from Ivy, news, content ideas, new features of AI platforms. Ideas get put here in a nice card. I can open the card, I can read it, I can give feedback if I want to do a small twist on the idea. Then I can just approve the concept, park it, or reject it. So it's a idea pipeline for my YouTube videos. As soon as I would approve it, it gets to the video tab. Here in the video tab, what happens if I approve an idea, a new card gets created, which has already the description, which is already a rough draft of a script outline and so on. I can see some SEO tags here. I can have some title ideas. So once it's moved from idea to approved, I already get a full card giving me much more detail to my YouTube videos. Now from here, I can drag and drop into the calendar when I want to be publishing a video, for example here, and when I want to be recording it as well. So I have always my recording sessions when I plan to record and when I plan to publish. So today is the 17th. I'm actually recording my OpenClaw mission control video. Here I manage my production pipeline for my YouTube videos. Now in the analytics page is where I analyze my YouTube channel. I see how many subscribers I have, how many views, how many daily views, what's my growth, what are my best videos, and so on. I can actually look into my video performance and I would see particular videos. This is my highest performing video. I can see how many subscribers I gained, retention, and like this I get a good feeling of my top performing videos, and I can look into the stats down here. Same goes with the audience. I will be able to compare different audience of different videos that I have and get insights into analytics of my video. Again, I can tap into my channel growth and analyze that. That looks a little bit like this. Retention for different videos. I can dive into the retention, compare, and then in the last section, I have a comparison. I can look at two good performing videos side by side, and I would see how many views they gain, what was the average duration, and I can just compare different videos, their growth journey, and how they're doing in relation to each other. That's also something I am continuously improving and building out. But out of the analytics page for my YouTube, I want to inform my strategy and learn and improve. That was YouTube, but I also have a social media section, which currently mainly is LinkedIn and X. Here on my approval page, Mr. X is drafting me the copy of tweets and also of LinkedIn posts, and then I can review, I can generate images. When I click here, I can give feedback again to change it. I have a small preview how the post would look. I can discard also the suggestion, or I can approve in post, or I can schedule it. Here we go. Now I generated images. I can, of course, edit the text if I wanted to. I can now just approve the copy and I can choose a cool image. Maybe that's a cool image with the post. And then I have the option approve post, and then it will go live to my new X channel that I have created. Let's just try it out. Live demo. It posted. Now you can see on my X channel that it posted that. It's completely automated draft image posting with one click of a button. You can see that I have 2 followers and 22 posts. I started that from scratch to try out the automated posting, but it's working pretty incredibly well. The same concept works for LinkedIn. I could read the copy about Anthropic shipped in automated PR code, review inside Claw code, heavy pull request, multi-agent analysis. I think this is a relevant post. I reviewed it yesterday already. Let's click on that. Here are some images. If I don't like, I can regenerate it, or I can upload an image myself. Let's regenerate actually. I can approve and post. It did post it on my LinkedIn. I think I like the image as well. The post is fine. I'm automizing my LinkedIn posting and my X posting, and Instagram will be next. So now you saw how I'm posting live on approved post, but the schedule function is also vital. So here I have the scheduler tab, and you can see here that for the next 5 days in this week, I have an X post already scheduled and a LinkedIn post already scheduled. And you can look at the post, what will go out, you can reschedule it, you can delete it, and so on. You can post it now. That's my scheduler function. I can see it here on top as well. I can just move it to another day very easily. And like this, I have an overview of automated social media posting. This is so powerful. Everything is automated from script, imaging, scheduling. I gave my agent the metrical documentation, which is basically an auto scheduling platform. And I said, look, build me something similar. And this is what came out, and it's absolutely incredible. Just mention a tool you use, just maybe get the documentation, tell it to your agent, he can code. If you have Opus 4.6 or any other intelligent agent as a brain in the backbone, he can pretty much build you anything. And then lastly, the analytics page, which again is just giving me quick analytics of YouTube, which I already have more detailed on top, but then also, of course, X and some LinkedIn information. It is very simple, yet is something I am building out. So this is my complete setup of my content engine at the moment. And now we get to an exciting feature, which is my factory. This is where we actually ship code. So every day, Ivy is scraping Reddit conversations, is identifying product opportunities, and then is drafting me a proposal for a software product, an app or a web app, is giving me the problem, the solution, explain, and giving me a little bit the signal of how relevant this is. Now, if I click build MVP, what happens is that this gets pushed to my CTO agent, and he will right away start coding on this project. He will create a GitHub repo, and we will deploy a preview on Vercel. This is so powerful. I just started building that. Not sure where this is going to go, but pretty much on demand web apps or mobile apps will be created by an agent team, live monitored by actual needs from people. And within a couple of hours, you'll be able to message in this subreddit or in this Reddit conversation that a solution is online for their problem. I have just started experimenting with this, but this can be down the line very powerful. And I have my pipeline here where we see what tool is in the backlog. Obviously, all approved ideas kind of get into the backlog here. Then will start being built. We're currently working on 3 ideas. Then when it's deployed, we review, and when it's shipped, it comes to the end. So this is our software factory pipeline, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to keep you up to date how that is going. I have an email inbox where all my email accounts from different businesses across from different accounts get tracked. I see action items. At the moment, we just did a fresh scan, so I got 400 emails. I will have to clean it up, but usually that should be maybe below 100. Kept clean, sorted by topic. This email scan is being done by Gemma 3, a local model. So this information stays local and is not pushed to Anthropic or OpenAI. It just escalates summaries to my mission control, but not with the complete details of the email. I can reply positive or decline. Then my agent, which will also be my local agent, will draft a positive or negative email. I can give custom instruction for the draft, or I can escalate it to Henry, which then all the information of the email would get passed to my Anthropic Opus 4.6 agent, my main chief of staff, that if I need some more thinking, that if I feel that the data is safe to share, if I want a better response, I can send it to Henry. Let's try this out on one example, some new login from 11 Labs. Let's just let it create a draft. For this, I say reply positively. And there you go, here in my draft folder, 11 apps, reply. That's good to know. Thanks for the heads up. Everything is fine on my end. The point is, it drafts email responses. This one I will obviously delete, but it is fully functional. Also, a cool function is that we created is if I click now on open in mail, it is connected to my Mac mail program, and I can click open, and it would then automatically open the email. So I don't have to go search in my inbox. I can immediately open, I can reply, I can click done. Really cool function as well. So multiple response, custom response, escalate to Henry, direct connection, really cool email setup. And I have a multi-select in case I want to delete several. I can just select 20, 30 emails, say, give me a draft reply. I will find it all in my email inbox. Very, very useful. We have a cost tracker overview. Clearly, you can see we're spending a bit too much these days, but nevertheless, I can see roughly the distribution by agents, and I can study the costs. I will keep you up to date with that. I'm running several experiments, and I want to get a good feeling of how to optimize costs with which models, with how many jobs, how to do it, cost action plan. There are, of course, here already some suggestions and some tables to analyze our daily spends, how much we're spending per day, per model. It's very interesting, and it will be the base of my cost analysis and optimization down the road. First month, 3 weeks in, basically running the high cost test model. How much can we crank it? What would be the cost, and optimize from there. Last is a bit technical, would be just the logs. Just here we see all the actions from the gateway, all the jobs in case we need to look in any mistakes, see the Docker containers, if they're live and running or not, scheduled jobs, and a simple settings page where we can dial in budget settings, the models, we can change that, just an overview, what's the current setup. That's the full mission control 7 agent, 1 dashboard, everything from email to software factory running on a Mac Mini. 3 weeks ago, I had none of this. Now it's running 24/7, and honestly, it gets better every day. The agents learn, the automations compound, and I just keep adding new pages. Now, if you want to see where this goes, please subscribe. I'm curious, drop a comment. Which page should I do a deep dive on? Because every single one of these could be its own episode. I hope to see you in the next one.